And now back to some of your favorite legendary songs of all time here on WVOX 1460 AM and WVOX.com. Saturday edition of Club Dennis on the radio. Pop, rock, Motown, disco, a mix of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. My name, Dennis Dion Nardone.
It's a beautiful morning.
Yes. Hey, every morning, 7 days a week, you hear that song because it's a beautiful morning, it's a beautiful song, it's a beautiful voice, and I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if this is not a thrill for me, I don't know what it is, because on the phone with us is from Pelham Manor, New York, Westchester County. Yes, the leader of the Rascals. You know what? And I grew up right up the block for him, the next town over, the West New Rochelle from Pelham Manor. And we frequent the same record shops in New Rochelle. Never knew that until I read it in his book called Felix Cavaliere, Memoir of a Rascal from Pelham, New York to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And this is a thrill to say good morning to Felix Cavaliere of the Rascal. Felix, good morning, sir.
A lot of good memories from the old days there.
Now, let's go. You mentioned old days. Let's go back a few minutes. You mentioned in the book, New Rochelle, you had to go to the same record shops I did. New Rochelle House of Music, Caruso's Music Shop, right there on Main Street. And you had to go to the same ones and all the movie houses there. Did you frequent those record shops?
Absolutely. I mean, that's where I found all of the songs that we had to play before we could start writing our own song. What was it? Yeah, it was a great time. You know, you go in there, you play the 45s, you can stay as long as you want, as long as you buy something. Absolutely.
Yes, and now you weren't a rock and roller from the very beginning, man. You were playing Mozart. Mom says you get on that piano, start playing some Beethoven and stuff, and that's where you started it all. You wanted to be out there and be Mickey Mantle, but you had to get on that piano and practice classical music.
That's right, and so, basically I wrote it in the book that I'm, very thankful that I did get that type of, push, so to speak, to learn, because it paid off in the long run. But, yeah, I'd love to go out and play, with my friends and, but instead, I had to play the piano and practice.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you have an Italian background. And I got to tell you, as they say in Italians, we must be paisans, because my family's from Naples as well. And I read that in your book.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I noticed a lot of vowels in your cast. I like that.
Yes. Felix Cavaliere of the Rascals. He's on tour. The Rascals Timepiece 2023 tour. Let's talk about the tour. You have Gene with you. Of course, unfortunately, we lost Dino. And that guy was not a showman. He was a great drummer and a showman. Man, he was just tremendous. He used to flip the sticks in his fingers. Everybody tried to do it, and sticks would fly all over the place, with our garage bands. And it just didn't work. You get a stick in the back of your head and say, what are you doing? I'm trying to be like Dino. And it just didn't work. But again, every garage band back in the 60s and early 70s, you had to play Good Lovin' or else you just weren't accepted. And you got that song from the Olympics. Is that where you heard it from?
Yeah, I went to the Caruso Music Store. I mean, I heard it on the turntable and brought it to the band. And from the moment that we had that song, people got up and danced. They always loved it.
Yeah. Now, I played Midnight Hour by you. And again, every garage band will play that song for at least 45 minutes. And, you did a great rendition of that. And when you're in the barge and you played that song, people just loved it and just danced to it all night. And great stuff. And great memories from the barge?
Oh, Oh, your great memories from, the whole thing. I mean, like I say, in those days, it was kind of like an innocence. The music business was so different from it is now,
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lot of fun.
Yes,
a lot
yes.
of fun.
Now, the Rascals Timepiece 2023 tour, I would imagine it's all out on your website, all the schedule. What can we expect with Eugene from that tour?
Well, basically, what we do over the years is, the audience that we had in those days, we were all connected by the music.
Yeah.
I mean, I think your station probably is a good indication, that. When I heard in your promo, you play all different kinds of music.
Yes, on Saturday we do, yes. On Sunday I play a little doo-wop, but we mix it up on Saturday morning. We call it the Saturday morning mix, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Disco, Motown, pop, rock, and funk, and a lot of Rascals and a lot of Beach Boys, to be honest, and the Beatles.
Well, that's how I like to present my show to the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the music we grew up on. I try to, let everybody know you're welcome, and basically bring back a lot of the memories that we had, in those days.
Yes, and great memories and great songs, and people just love to hear Rascal songs over and over again. Love to see you. I seen you out in Westbury. I missed you down in Atlantic City because I was working. Otherwise, I'm going to get on this tour. The Rascals Timepiece 2023 tour, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up and get out there and see Felix. Still sounded good. Still sounds like the 60s. Gene is great always, and you got to get out on this tour. And, one song that you recorded, People Got to Be Free. And on my morning show, my talk show, I talk about how the lyrics of that song meant so much years and years ago. And to this day, 2023, we still follow the lyrics of that song, People Got to Be Free.
And we still need them.
That's right.
That's the thing. Exactly. All over the world.
Yes.
Like I say, in those days, we tried to make a difference, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorites, well, they're all my favorites, but one of my favorite songs, and I heard it for the first time back in the 60s, and I said, what a different sound of the Rascals grooving. Now, how did you come up with that tempo?
Well, basically, coming from the New York City area, we got a tremendous Latin influence. Mm-hmm. And, that's pretty much how that thing evolved. I mean, there's a story around the song, of course. Story is pretty much that, musicians work on Friday and Saturday nights.
Right.
And I've yet to find a woman that likes that idea, Mm-hmm. So the answer to that is to write a song and tell them I love you on Sunday afternoon.
Right. Felix Cavaliere, the Rascals, and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Musicians Hall of Fame, Grammy Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame, Vocal Group Hall of Fame, Hit Parade Hall of Fame, the Hammond Organ Hall of Fame. Man, what a great resume. And you used to rock on that back in the 60s, that Hammond. You made that thing sound, and wow. Back then people didn't know what the Hammond was in the late 60s. And when you brought it out and started wailing on that Hammond, man, people were going crazy. And I would imagine they still do. Where did you come up with the idea to say, I'm bringing me a Hammond organ with a rock and roll group?
I'll tell you exactly. It was in New Rochelle, man.
Oh, there you go.
In New Rochelle.
Uh-huh.
There was a club in New Rochelle. I think it was called the 3 4s.
Right.
Gone.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember. And I heard a Hammond organ there.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, my God. I got to learn this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, New Rochelle. I think North Avenue.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it was on North Avenue, 3 4s, not too far from this radio station, a quarter of a mile away. Yeah.
That did it.
So that's what did it. Yeah. And what is it, B3? Is that the one you play?
Yeah, it's a B3. The group is called the Mighty Cravers.
Wow. Right. And
I remember like yesterday. I really do.
Yeah. By the way, my cousin's wife grew up right next door to you. Don't ask me her maiden name, but she said she used to watch you practice right next door, across the street there from the high school. And
absolutely.
My cousin's wife, Kathy, used to come there and watch you practice in the garage. And tells me stories over and over again. I feel the Cavaliere of the Rascals. What is your favorite Rascal song?
Right Well, I got to say it's a beautiful morning because it's a beautiful morning today.
Yes, and like I said, I play it every morning, and no matter what the weather is, I say it's a beautiful morning. Especially be behind the microphone because I'm here 7 days a week, so we play that song every day, every morning, and of course, and we just love it. But you had some great "Come On Up," and I played "Slow Down." I love that version of "Slow Down." Now, you stole that from the Beatles. I don't want to say steal, but you borrowed that from the Beatles, "Slow Down"?
And the Beatles got it from Larry Williams.
Right.
So, that's what it was all about in those days. Mm-hmm. Basically, in the early days, you had to do covers anyway.
Yes, to fill up the album. Yeah, that's what Dion...
No, not for the album. In the clubs. In the clubs.
Oh, in the clubs.
They wouldn't allow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why we go to the record stores.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
They wouldn't allow originals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
On the top 40.
I got to tell you, a few years ago, you were in Portchester with the whole band, and I got to tell you, what a thrill by everybody. Full house, I think it was 2-3 days, and my man and my cousin Vinny Pastor was part of the opening act there, and of course he grew up loving the Rascals. And I don't know anyone who hasn't grown up loving the Rascals as a baby boomer, and still going strong, ladies and gentlemen. The Rascals Timepiece 2023 tour. Check it out, and you're going to be all over the New York area, Jersey, and of course all around here. And New Rochelle, you mentioned New Rochelle. This radio station's probably maybe 2 miles away from where you grew up, and so it's a thrill to have you on this radio show. And so what else can we look forward to with Felix Cavaliere, with that mind of yours, coming up with all kinds of songs and music and arrangements? What else can we look forward to?
During this horrible time period with the pandemic, I was able to do a new album. So I got a new album coming out. Yeah, it's called Then and Now. And what I did is I took 5 old songs, redid them, and I wrote 5 new songs to kind of show how it influenced me. I got Ray Charles in there. I got Benny King in there. Yeah. I had a blast.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope I get a copy of that. That's for sure. Now, you mentioned word influence. Growing up, who influenced you besides Bach and Beethoven?
Well, Ray Charles, Fats Domino, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, because I was a piano player and I heard these guys playing piano. I said, man, I gotta learn what that is. Right. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find out.
Absolutely. And now, I mentioned the Beatles, and you had an occasion to hang out with Paul and John a little bit. Growing up with the Beatles, give me your thoughts about talking and speaking to legends like Paul and John, if you don't mind.
Well, I got to know George the best, because we had similar beliefs. Talking to a Beatle is an interesting thing. I worked with Ringo. I did the Ringo All-Star Tour. You know what? They're regular guys who I guess God has chosen to be icons, and they know that. They handle it very, very, very well. 'Cause you can't imagine. Like for example, when I was on the road with Ringo, he had to rent the whole movie theater to go to a movie.
Yeah, right.
You can't go by yourself.
Yeah.
So we get special time, and you go in. There's nobody there but us. I mean, it's a different world. I mean, I don't know if any of you saw the Elvis movie.
Yes.
But it's a lot like that.
Yes.
And they were. I tell you, they were good people. They're so talented people, and we owe them a lot.
Yes. And of course, speaking to Felix Cavaliere of the Rascals, and you performed or met just about every legendary rock and roller there is. And once again, you went from Carnegie Hall to the Barge to now on tour, and you've done it all rock. I just read all the Rock and Roll Hall of Fames you're in. A great resume, and Westchester's got, and Pelham Manor's got to be proud of you, man. We need like a monument. I told the mayor, here a couple of weeks ago. And I said, you got to look at this book. You need to put a monument up in Pelham Manor. So she said she was going to try to get in touch with your people. I mean, you need something up there, man. I mean, you brought it all. You're right there on the top of the hill, on the top of the mountain with rock and roll and music. And again, from Beethoven right on to rock and roll. So they need like a monument in that park across the street from where you grew up. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, like I say, I just really appreciate the love and the affection and the fact that people really enjoy our music to this day.
Yes. All right. I won't hold you anymore, but I'd love to have you again. And I'd love to get you on my TV show one of these days as well. But I know you're busy out there on tour. The Rascals Timepiece 2023 tour. Ladies and gentlemen, look it up and get your butt to that show because we all grew up with the Rascals and their music. And Felix is still wailing on that B3. And Gene, of course, great on the guitar. Hey, by the way, did you see the Ed Sullivan shows? Did you see yourself a couple of weeks ago? Ed Sullivan's on Sunday night. They have those reruns of rock and roll. And there you were, man, with your long hair and doing grooving. Did you see that one?
Well, I remember the long hair, too. I remember that. That's long gone, too.
Yes.
That's gone, so's my hair, yeah.
Anyway, you're living down in Tennessee now, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm down here. And we're freezing down here, too.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We've got bright sunshine. You've got to come back to New York then. The sun is shining. Anyway, listen, keep writing, keep singing, keep doing what you do because people love you. And there's no end to the Rascals and there's no end to Felix Cavaliere. Thank you for a few minutes, man. I hope to meet you. Keep rocking and rolling. You're the best, Felix. We all love you and we still do.
God bless you, Dad. Hey, man, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Be well. God bless you. All right, Felix Cavaliere, and we're going to go out with one of his songs that he mentioned here. Yes, it is.
There you go.
All right, thank you, Felix. Be well. God bless you, man. Great talking to you.
Take care of yourself.
All right, hope to see you. All right, bye-bye.
Yes.